Hello everybody, this is the 26th episode of Velhos Metaleiros, and today my guests are the Courettes, an amazing duo band, a garage band, a rock and roll band. So it's a pleasure for me to be here talking with you. And
Thanks,
thank you.
It's a pleasure to be here too.
Thank you for accepting my request, and I'm an happy child right now. So first things first, you got a new album, 25th of July. How are the people reacting to it? Are you feeling a lot of love? Are you feeling that your fans are enjoying the album? Are you getting good reviews, or I don't know, some different reviews, some I don't know, your sound changed for a better way, or your sound didn't change? What are you getting? Good reviews, not reviews?
Actually, what came out now in July, it was a reissue of our two first albums. Here Are the Courettes and We Are the Courettes. Here Are the Courettes is from 2015. We Are the Courettes from 2018. And Damaged Goods Records, our new record label, wanted to make also a CD version. And we had the idea, why not to do like a CD version with both albums? Because, you know, our songs have 3 minutes, so they get 2 albums can be easily in a CD. And we were happy to get reviews mainly about the CD, because that would be the new thing, you know, because it was never done before, the CD with both records. And it was amazing reviews we got, and we're so proud and happy, and also in big magazines that we never before got a chance of being reviewed, like Mojo in UK, or and Shindig and Vive le Rock. So it's going very well, especially in the UK. And the last singles, I think we got some reviews, like you mentioned. Is it an evolution? The songs, because this reissues, it's like the old songs. But we released also in May a new single, our second single by Damaged Goods Records, and it was called Hop the Twig.
Hop the Twig, yeah.
And it got also really good reviews.
Massive,
yeah, it was like massive, like reviews on. We could not even have time to share them. But it was also, first it's hard to get reviews with singles, so I think it was great that we break through. This is much easier to get a review for album. But anyways, it went very, very good, and people were pointing that Courettes are evolving in their songwriting and production of the releases, and I agree. I think we're getting more and more better songwriters. And before, in the first albums, the songs just came and it was just the way it was, and now you're actually sitting down and thinking, okay, what can we do better that it's a better song? And also digging a lot of songwriters that we love, like Holland, Dosia Holland, that is a Motown trio who wrote all the songs, you know, 3 minutes hits and hit songs. And of course, the few Spectre bands, the girl groups, was also a big influence in the forthcoming album, which is coming in October.
Okay.
So we're digging more and more this songwriting thing. And also we build our own studio. It's full of retro vintage gear, and we can experiment a little more also. So the first album was just, we went to the studio, recorded very raw, very, you know, live in the studio. Yeah. And then in the second album, where the Courettes, was already a little bit of overdubs. I play a little piano and some backing vocals. And now in Basicamente, that's coming in October, it's gonna be very. I mean, we did overdubs overall, and a lot of core, and our producer Søren Christensen, he has a very nice band from Denmark called the Blue Van. Then he played also some pianos and mellotrons. So it was a very nice, and it was really a pleasure to, you know, get more into the studio working and make the album a little different than our live, you know, setup. So it was a lot of fun. But this is the new album, like the third album, is coming only in October.
Okay.
31st October. Yeah. So we're just really waiting for the test presses are coming in the mailman anytime. So every time, you know, somebody knocks on the door, we're like, it's now. So we're very excited to hear how is it sounding on vinyl. So yeah.
All right. When I first heard Hop the Twig, one thing I noticed is your voice, at least in the chorus, it's more intense. It's I don't know what you did there, but the voice is so more intense, so much. I can feel happiness and so much feeling in the voice. That's, man, it's addictive. It's addictive. Yeah, it's really cool. So I'm.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, we're really happy with Hop the Twig too. And it's funny, it was a song we wrote so fast, and it was very late in the album. Had already many songs or other songs recorded. So now we have this one new. That's the single. It was so easy to choose. It was no doubt. It was the new song was supposed to be the single. It was we're very happy about this old surf vibe blended with Shangri-Las. It was really cool.
Yeah, but one thing, it's a cool question, I guess. What do you prefer nowadays, the mono sound or the stereo sound?
Oh, that's easy.
That goes for Martin.
This is the easy one. Of course, it's a mono. Yeah, no doubt. It's we've always been fans of mono sound, and all our records were supposed to be mono. And I don't know if you know, but the whole third album the idea came from the second album, because We Are the Courettes, and it was supposed to be in mono. And in the mastering process, we found out that Kim and Nikolai, who mixed and recorded the album, they hadn't made it in mono. So
it was by chance actually, they made stereo.
We just found out in the mastering just before presenting to the press plan that it was actually in stereo. So that's where the whole idea for the Phil Spector girl group record back in mono came. So that's actually that's how we got to it. Sorry about this. We're also making Lego Star Wars here. This is why it's a little chaotic with
it's cool.
Little son here sitting in a.
It's the last day of his vacation. So, yeah.
It's cool. One thing I've noticed when I saw the Courettes documentary, that interview where you go and check your gear and your space age furniture. Tell me about that passion. I see your background, so it's a spacey.
I've been collecting space age stuff for many years, and then this is one of the things when we met in Brazil some years back. We found out we had an almost similar record collection, and we were also digging the whole space age, the 60s, 70s design and furniture and this stuff. And so this was a really match made in it.
Yeah, because I love it, and some people come here at home and say, yeah, it's cool, but it's not
many people who dig it, and luckily Flavia did.
Yeah, so, we dig a lot. So it's the whole house where you open a door, you're just in another time, And I think it's cool because it was how they imagined the future would be. And that future they imagined in the 60s is much cooler than the future that actually happened, which is like nowadays where, for example, I think for design of cars, they are just so boring now. They have to be functional, and they have to save money all the time. And more the houses and furniture, everything is practical and saving the more they can, that it works. And the aesthetic part is totally gone. So I don't know what went wrong, for example, in the car industry. You see the 60s, 50s cars, they look amazing, details and all. Now you just like the new ones, like what? It's just really boring. So I wish that future they dreamt there with the space age design and everything they imagined at that time actually was the future that that won. Yeah. Unfortunately, it was not. It was just the boring version of the future. I think the 60s decade was so free in so many ways. People were so creative, and questioning the rules and questioning the mainstream and the system. And so I think they imagine, wow, the future is going to be far out, it's going to be great. and unfortunately the history went a little, back.
Yeah.
I agree.
I think the 60s were the EP years in a good way, because everyone felt artsy. Everyone wanted to make art, and everyone wanted to show how they view the world, and how they see, and how they feel the world. Even in the music you can feel that, and the art, the psychedelic art, the psychedelia, everything that bobs around it, it's pretty amazing. All you can extract from there is love and good energy. There's although in the 60s were a lot of wars, they forgot about that, and they created a free world where you can live in peace. It's so
Exactly.
actually that's cool.
Such a pity that the revolution didn't work out. It's the Yuppies won, the system won. I think it's such a pity. And I grew up, watching the Woodstock and all this stuff, and I totally think that psychedelia has a lot to do with that. With the drugs that free your mind. People should, because then it always love. That's exactly, it's more philosophical than just the Beatles song, but it's actually true. If it worked out, the revolution, if more people, got access to these tools of opening a little bit the mind, it would be a better world, no doubt. But the system has these tools of getting in, making like a t-shirt, a psychedelic t-shirt you can buy in H&M and all this. So it takes the good things about the genuine movements, punk movement, hippie movement, beatniks, and just transform it in a deed, in a thing. And that's when all gets lost, and then loses the meaning, and it's just like a shopping thing you can buy, but you're not living that. You're not that. So yeah.
Nowadays you can buy a Ramones shirt. It's the most common one. But, a few years back, when I saw anyone with a Ramones shirt, I look at a person and I say to myself, that's a guy I want to meet. Nowadays you can't do that because you
No, you get fooled with the t-shirts, and I must admit, we bought for Austin a lot of Ramones t-shirts in H&M too. Having wear the parents. But I mean, when I was a teenager, if you wear a Ramones shirt, we should have at least named 10 Ramones songs or sing them and know the album names. But we wear this indie stuff that you actually had to know the bands to use, that to deserve to use the t-shirts. And I had the same feeling. If it was somebody with a Ramones t-shirt, it was like one of us, and you just approach and start talking, and it was just you feel like home. It's another misfit, another freak like us who has the same vision of the world, so that was also, you just ask how it is to be back touring. It's just to see this. I mean, they didn't have Ramones t-shirt, or maybe one or two, but just to see people like us, it's so good to be again with other bands and music interest band, people who dig garage rock, who dig punk rock. And this is our little community, so it was really hard times with this isolation. And so it's, of course, it's for the music, but also with the community that's behind the music we dig. It's very like exactly like I said, the Ramones guy, the t-shirt guy, he's one of us. Yeah. So it's great to be back, with the people who we feel like they're one of us too.
So tell me a little more about your background. You first, Flavio, if you don't mind, because you're from Brazil, and Brazil got Os Mutantes, and Os Mutantes it's a band that I really enjoy. And then Martin, please tell me how when you looked at the drum set and you said to yourself, I want to play that for the rest of my life.
Yeah, sure.
That's
okay.
I want to hear the stories from you.
Yeah, I started playing guitar when I was 11. I found acoustic guitar in my mom's holiday house, and started playing it alone at first. But the music started also at 10, 11, and a little before of that, because I found my mom's Beatles collection, and I totally freaked out. And I remember there's a red compilation, the blue compilation was this one I had access first, and I was with my best friend at 5th grade, and we were just like, let's hear Help Again, and like 20 times, 30 times. It was such an energy, and twist and shout, this voice like screaming. It was really something that really changed my life, like instantaneously. And of course, it was the grunge movement happening back then when I started listening to music. And then I bought a bass when I was 11, and thinking about Paul McCartney, so it was a copy of a Hickenbacker, but it's just because it was this same best friend who we were freaking out listening to the Beatles, smoking cigarettes of her mom. Yeah, she actually had a cousin that played bass, and then one day she just said, Flavia, don't you want to buy a bass? My cousin's actually selling his. Is it black? Yes, it's black. Okay, I want it. And then I saved money for the money my mom gave to snacks at school, because my mom didn't want to buy me a bass. She said I should, continue with the acoustic guitar first and all that. And then I bought the bass after, I don't know, some months, and started playing with the, little bands. And it started with as you said, Ramones. That same friend present me to Mutantes also. And Mutantes was a big revolution in my life, not only because of Mutantes, but also Rita Lee. She was the first female rock and roller I had as a role model. So it was my mom was a big Rita Lee solo career fan, this pop thing she did in the 80s with a new husband there. My mom was a big fan. So I grew up with that. And I was also very lucky. I don't know if you know the story of the B-rock, Brazilian rock. In the 80s, if you just turn on any radio station, the rock was totally in mainstream.
Okay.
Bands like Rita Lee, solo Rita Lee, and
Os Titãs?
Not Mutantes. Mutantes, they were already...
Titãs.
Titãs, Titãs, Paralamas do Sucesso, Barão Vermelho. Então, era assim toda hora no rádio. Então, meu padrasto tinha filhos, eles eram mais velhos que a gente, então eles estavam sempre ouvindo rádio. Então, primeiro show de rock que eu fui, eu tinha 11 anos, e eles me levaram, porque eu pedi, vamos para o Hollywood Rock, tinha vários festivais, era uma época muito boa para começar a ouvir música. E a MTV Brasil surgiu em 1990, eu tinha 9 anos, e foi onde eu comecei a ver muitas bandas que eu nunca tinha tido contato. Estou falando em português agora.
Yeah, I noticed.
You just changed.
It was because of me, because of os Titãs. Yeah, tá tudo bem, tá tudo bem.
I can go back to English.
No vou.
And then MTV Brazil was really cool back then. It was not these reality shows. Every American band who played in Brazil gave interviews saying, guys, you have the best MTV. You have no idea. American MTV sucks. This is so cool, because it was a lot of B-sides and punk. You can just see the late programs, 2 in the morning. It was the coolest. We had one called Lado B-sides, which was just all the indie shoegaze bands, the guitar bands, My Bloody Valentine, Teenage Funk Group, all this all the time. I saw the Ramones there, rock and roll radio. I was just exploded. It was a really, I had very, it was everywhere. Rock was everywhere. And Mutantes is my favorite Brazilian band of all times, and I discovered them with 11. I had all the in tapes, all the discography, and Rita Lee after also the good rock albums she made after with Tutti Frutti band. It's also something that I learned in the guitar. All the songs I used to play all the time, her songs. It was a big influence in my songwriting, attitude, everything. She's really one of my heroes. And then I started playing in bands. When I was 13, you asked Marty when you decided to play drums the rest of. I know exactly the moment when I decided that music was I was going to do the rest of my life, although I was already doing it. It was in the Ramones show in 1994. I was 13. and it was in Circo Voador, a very cool venue in Rio, the coolest venue in Rio. I was the only one in my school who did the Ramones. We could not buy t-shirts. I had to draw one saying the Ramones. And I was the freak of the school, didn't talk to anyone. And they were digging reggae and I was digging the Ramones. And then when I went there to Circo Voador, it was so packed. People were hanging on, it was a tent, like a circus tent. People were hanging up in the ceiling. Everybody with Ramones t-shirts, everybody like me, and it was such a revelation that I was not the only one. It was a lot of people doing that. I didn't know where they were, you know. They just pop up in the rock shows, and then again they disappeared. I didn't have any friends that did that, and that friend who showed me Mutante, suddenly she changed and was listening to reggae, and the next fashion thing there. So it was really a pity. But that day when I saw the Ramones, 1, 2, 3, and these people there, wow, just hanging there. Then I said to myself, wow, this is what I'm going to do the rest of my life. And it's been 27 years. So
I'm 27.
Okay, so before you were born, I decided that's what I'm going to do. And still keeping my word for a long time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah, so that's it, I think. And then, of course, I moved to Denmark because of Martin in 2015 when his band was doing the support to Roma's tour in Brazil.
It was Colombian Neckties.
Colombian Neckties is a very,
Yeah.
very good Danish punk band.
Yeah.
And that was it. So I had to decide what I'm going to do. Then I follow, as a good old hippie, I follow my heart. And I'm here in Denmark and could not be better.
The best love story of all time.
Yeah, exactly.
think so
Something
too.
like that. Cool.
So yeah,
That's smartest.
so I don't remember which age I was when I started, but I remember it was in the public schools here in Denmark. It was there was, instead of going to math class, I could choose to have drums education in school.
It's an easy choice.
So this is actually the reason why I started with the drums, because I could get off. I didn't have to have math for some days and during the week, and I really hated the math teacher, and math especially. So I went there playing the drums, and it was cool. It was loud. It was just my kind of thing, you know. It was a really instantaneously loved this big blast of sound right in the face, you know. Banging the drums, you got this immediate big sound, totally tearing up your ears. I absolutely loved it right away. And then, of course, with all the music inspiration was, my mom is also a flower child. We call her here a blomsterbarn. It's a kid from the 60s and all the hippie movement there. So I grew up with her 7-inch recording collections, a record collection. And so this is how I was introduced to Beatles, Elvis, the Doors, Kinks, the Stones, all these amazing 60s sounds. And so that's how it actually started with, for me. It was, and I've been playing the drums for a lot of years now.
You told me, I think your mom told me that she was actually cool that when you bought the drums.
Oh yeah, that was one of the parts too. That's one of the parts too. I was very, so first...
She loved the drums, because usually you buy a drum, the parents say, it's too loud.
First of all, I could get this free education there in school and get off math. And then I also was thinking, my mom was always freaking out with the drums. She loved the drums, and going to shows when she was a teenager and stuff. And then I was thinking, but this is an easy way to get a drum set also. So and I was convinced her to get me a drum set, and because I knew she loved the drums, and it was really cool. It was
he could make all the noise he wanted, and mom was just hey, love it.
Loved the drums,
So that's not everybody who has this privilege.
Yeah,
that's good. And then I was rehearsing to Buddy Holly in my teenage room there, so it was really good. It was really cool.
Okay. I got just one more question, or several questions, but this question is I read a bunch of interviews from you guys, and I think I never read this question. What was the greatest concert you've been to together?
Playing or
Playing,
singing?
as an audience.
As an audience, yeah. I think this
I
is
know
the tricky
all
question.
those Sonics in
The Sonics.
Sonics in Vauxhall in Aarhus
Yes,
in Denmark.
it
No
was.
doubt.
Okay.
Because we played before.
We played just before them
Ah.
support for the
Yes.
band, and it was like we met them afterwards, and
then
was
we were
really-
just like kids in
were
in the concert after. It was a great show after.
The thing is, when I was really introduced to garage rock, it was years back with our good friends from the Blue Van. It was before I met Flavian, of course, and then it was the first song I heard from the Sonics was "Have Love Will Travel" in a New Year's Eve, and it was just blasting out of the speakers. I was like, wow, what a sound! It was so rebellious and wild, and it was really. This was my introduction to Sonics, and I always had the feeling of, wow, what a shame, I'm never gonna see the band live, and it was just born too late, you know.
And we would never imagine.
Suddenly they started touring again in a really old age, and then we got asked if we could do the support there in Denmark there, and like, wow. So yeah, no doubt, this is a Sonic, yeah.
Yeah, because
Sonic show.
back then, you know, when I was in this time, I was telling you Ramones and then Beatles and Mutantes and all. It was very, if you were curious, it was a big, very fast step to the Seeds and Sonic. So I also got to know them in a very early age. There was so old school this, but it was a CD store near where. That's already funny, but here it is. You could actually rent the CDs and make cassette tapes out of it.
Holy shit.
So being curious, it was like, okay, I heard about the seed, so give me the whole seed, the discography, and it costed like 2 reais. Then you had the whole day to make the tapes, pirate tapes at home, and then you gave them back. Imagine this concept of it sounds crazy right now. You just download everything here on Spotify.
I prefer that way. I prefer that way you're saying.
That was crazy because then I got, friends with the dude. He was like a black man, a jazz dude. He was so cool. And hi, Flavia, don't you know this band here? So, it was a whole community of, do you know this? I know this. And then, exchanging info. It was really cool. It was like a library of CDs. So, it was very, very fast. I got to know also garage bands and, psychedelic bands and Sonics. And as Marty, if anyone told me when I was 14, Flavia, one day you gotta play with the Sonics, I'll say, what? You have a time machine or what? This is crazy. It's not gonna happen. So when they started touring, I thought it was, and actually they played in Brazil when I moved here already. Oh, yeah. So I said, shit, I should be in Brazil. All my friends posted photos, Sonic shows. I was so jealous. And then suddenly the European tour, and then our booking agent, how we got the gig was honest, I don't know, I don't remember. But somebody called and say, hey, do you guys are free this day to support the Sonics? And we were like, what? Of course we are. And then we said, no, we have to keep cool, to say we're gonna support the Sonics, look cool. And then we went, played a very good show, and it was a review in the biggest music magazine here in Denver. Say the Courettes hit the stage looking like kids with big eyes, just like going to Disneyland. So we could not hide. We were like, okay. And then after the show, we met them and took a very nice. I was actually pregnant with Lennon. 6-7 months pregnant with Lennon. So I had this not so big belly, but already a belly. And we took this picture with him with a Disneyland eyes again. And then after the show, we could of course watch their show. And I knew some friends we had seen them in the same show, said they are great. They don't miss for any band 30, 20 years old. They are really kick ass. And I was saying, okay, we just saw Paul McCartney, and he kicks ass, but you can see his voice is a little different. It's not the old Paul McCartney there from Reaper down in Hamburg. It's not the same thing. So I was actually, okay, it's gonna be great, but thinking this, okay, the guys are 60 years old, so come on, what the. And then we were just like, whoa! It was definitely one of top 5 rock shows of my whole life. They were amazing. They would put a lot of bands 20 years old totally on the floor with their energy. They were really, really in top form. It was before they changed half of the lineup. Now it's not the same. We were actually very lucky. And it was amazing. We really feel like this rock shows that you feel like you're 13 again, and everybody dancing. Everybody was friends. Everybody there in the first row. Yeah, Kim Kicks was also there. Remember him dancing, and everybody was so like in the total delight. It was really nice. Yeah, definitely the best show we attended together as audience, no doubt.
Okay. Many times people compare you to to White Stripes. Name me the best. For you the best duo band there is.
The Courettes.
Yeah, of course.
All right. Simple answer, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. For me, it's the Courettes.
We're not the only one.
So, how you feel about being signed by Damaged Goods, the almighty Damaged Goods?
Yeah, we were sick and tired of our old crap label then. It was really shit. So we wanted to change, and so we made like Flying Out. We said, okay, let's do a top 3 list of the best labels we love in the world. And then we actually only made a top 2, and top 2 number 2 was Get Hip in the USA, and number 1 was Damaged Goods Records in London. And then we sent out the records and looked at each other and said, okay, yeah, well, of course we have to.
They never
we laughed a little bit about that and said, okay, at least we tried. Let's we deserve to give ourselves the chance to try. And then laughed about it, and then it was quiet for some time, and suddenly we saw in the Damaged Goods social media that suddenly our record was on their turntable in the headquarters, and it was like, what's going on here? And then suddenly we were contacted, and then we got signed to the best label in the world. So it was really. The thing is, you were in Brazil for years, and I was sitting here, and we were all listening to these massive, mighty garage records from, and it all turned out many of them was from Damaged Goods. All the head coat tees, Billy Childish stuff, Del Mones, it's all this stuff there, CB Bamon, and all of it came from Damaged Goods, and this is one of the things we really connected about.
Yeah, you almost freak out when I had this head coat tee, so my head coat tees collection of records. He was like, "What you have this too? Ooh, that's great!" And so it was very important in our lives, the bands from Damaged Goods, and of course since the start with the Buzzcocks.
Yeah, we were made out of Damaged Goods. It's really a match, so it's first they are very good people to work with. They are fair. They are people like us, and they are punk rockers in the heart, and that's really a great pleasure. And of course it helped a lot also with promotion in the UK, and they have their network, and so we can see the change also of not only to be in the dream label. That's the coolest part of it, no doubt. But in the practical part, we can also see that it's easier to people to find our records. They have a better distribution, they have a better PR person, and we get more reviews, and in a very good relation with them. So it's very easy to work with them, and we are so happy, and they are also very happy to have us, because we are hard workers. So if it works, we do our best to make it work. We play a lot of shows, we sell the records, we make promo. So I think it's a very good match, and I hope we can be there as long for the rest of our lives, because we're really This is also one of the things with the big respect there from the label, because you can see all the Holy Collide, Childish, all these artists. They are there for 25,
Yeah.
30 years. This means a lot, you know. You're not.
There's a reason why
you're not
they're
on a crap shit label for 30 years.
No.
If, you know what I mean.
If people are not fair, if people fuck you up, you know,
Yeah.
you can see apart from all this, you know, this aura, of course, of, you know, garage rock godfathers and all this, which is amazing. It's a very professional and fair record label.
Yeah.
And that's why people stay for 25, 30 years, because they're fair people.
Yeah.
So that's where we're also happy about it. And we found out this like after, of course, you know, just like, hey, that's a good. And then we also find out, besides being, you know, legendary, they're also very good to work with and fair, which is actually the most important.
Okay. What can we expect from the upcoming album? And are you excited? Are you excited for them to show the album to the world? Are you?
Very much.
Very
We're
much.
very
This is
excited.
we are extremely proud of this new Back in Mono record. This is an extremely good album. We are super proud about it. It's and the whole idea of this Back in Mono, Phil Spector, style and what's that?
Been to it.
Okay, hang on 2 seconds.
Okay.
Okay, den finder vi lige bagefter.
Det kan den schon, depois a gente
Sorry, man. It's Lego time. So yeah, no, the idea of the whole album and our digging the songwriting and especially the sound we recorded. We built our own studio. We built our own echo chambers. We spent all our savings on building the studio and this is.
It was in 2019. We put all the money in the studio.
Then we wanted 2020. It was our best year so far.
We had a very busy January 2020. We said, no problem. 2020 is coming. We're going to get all the money back. Looks great, the agenda, blah, blah, blah. And in March it came the lockdown.
But we still managed to do the finish and do the whole album there. And it's 14 songs and we're extremely proud about it.
Yeah, I think it's our best album, totally. I'm actually sure it's our best album. And it's actually the sound we always wanted to do. Yeah. Because if you check We Are the Courettes, it already has Time is Ticking, already has Strawberry Boy, already has some girl group inspired songs.
We took the steps for the third album already on number 2.
Because that's what we wanted to do all the way, and we didn't know how to do it actually. So we finally made a sound and the songs and
but this
the arrangements of what we always wanted.
This is also one of the cool things about it, because we are very nerdy about the sound, and it was recorded in our studio with Søren Christensen from the Blue Van. He's an excellent songwriter, producer, engineer, and so we did all this, and then we found we wanted, because we don't know any producers or mixers in the world who can actually make an authentic Phil Spector wall of sound. You know, we don't know of anyone. But then suddenly we made a Christmas single, and the girl before or after was like top 15 of the best Christmas songs. Suddenly there was a girl from Japan called Soleil. And we this is the only song I heard on the whole list. Pushed this, and then it was suddenly this massive wall of sound. Really, and you know, it was so good. I was so pissed off. I got really pissed off. It was sounding so good.
Yeah, because we
wanted this sound there, and we didn't manage to get it on the single there. But then I found somehow the contact through a Japanese music blog. We found the contact to this wall of sound aficionado there, Seiki Sato, sitting in Tokyo, Japan.
Who produced Soleil.
There, and we found him by a crazy way. And
Christmas, I can hardly wait.
And then it's that's how we found the guy to mix the whole album, and was a really extremely proud of it, and a very good mastering process also with Valentin Cruz from in Copenhagen, and there's really competent people there behind it, and it's sounding extremely
But
good.
also about the sound, you know, there's so many garage bands who sound exactly the same. You know, I mean, also the sound, the producer, everybody has the same producer to make the albums, so it's just like the same sound. But also in the songwriting, it's almost the same. So I think that we actually found something very unique and genuine of mixing girl groups with garage rock. So it's actually a very good movie. We love pop songs, you know, pop songs of the 60s, 3-minute songs. We love that. And so it was, I think it's an original mix that nobody did before. So I think also in the songwriting part, it's a big evolution. And we just wanted to do songs that are good, you know, before this is a good riff. Yeah, that's a good riff. Let's do a 3-minute song out of it. And I think many garage rock bands, of the new garage rock bands, it's a little bit like this, man. It sounds riff, and they forget the melodies, they forget the song, you know, which is actually the most important. So it's always the songs who are the most important. So we're really proud, and we cannot wait to show the world, you know. That's definitely our best record.
Yeah, no.
I can feel that you are very excited about that. So
yes, totally.
If you say it's the best, it's your best work, I trust you. I'm getting hyped. This one is a tricky one, but I know what Martin's gonna say. What you love more in the world, man? What's the
world?
Yeah.
There's two right here. So,
it's love. It's really cool, and I'm gonna tell you why. Because I look at Martin, I see a badass dude, you know, badass dude behind the drums, and then he's a sweet person, you know. The way he looks at you, the way he talks about love and talks about your whole concept of band and relationship, it's amazing, you know. It's
so cool,
it's delightful, man.
Cool. That's cool. Thanks for noticing.
And then it's also cool of you to notice,
Yeah, that's very nice.
You have a loving heart. That's great.
Yeah, man, I love you guys. You know, I'm a really fan. So it's I'm a happy kid. I'm a happy kid right now.
That's so cool. And I'm really looking forward. We can make it to Portugal soon, and redo these dates there that were canceled, and let's really hope for the best. I think I play with Martin, and Portugal is my second home because it's almost like Brazil. Just that I can be there and eat the food and talk the language, you know. I love touring Portugal, but it's very expensive flights there. It's kind of tricky. Low fees, expensive costs. So we just managed to do once, but we really want to come back. Let's see if the festival, what is the name? Rola Pedra, não?
Eu sei que era São Pedro de Moel, agora o nome do festival não me lembro.
O nome do festival é Rock Pedra, Pedra Rock.
Vou procurar, dá-me um segundinho.
Mas quando tiver a edição, porque aí já é um festival, aí dá para marcar os outros shows em volta e falar um pouco de português, comer muitos risoles.
Por acaso, tô...
Eu acho que é Rola Pedra. Pedra Rock.
São Pedro,
e ele
arranca, espera aí. Olha, não encontro. Do Courettes. Festival, espera aí.
Não, era o festival que foi cancelado ano passado, né?
Não, só encontro deste ano. Espera aí. Concertos, exposições... it only says verão cultural. It only says that. Verão cultural.
Não,
yeah.
ok. Mas o que eu estava pensando... Não, esse era um do Brasil, por isso que eu confundo o nome. Eu acho que era Pedra Rock. Era o festival que a gente estava marcado para ir em 2020. Mas, enfim, tomara que todos os shows rolem de novo. E eu acho que é isso, Pedra Rock é um festival. exatamente. Rock
Festival Pedra Rock, tens razão.
Pedra Rock, exatamente. Finalmente saiu. Rola Pedra, agora que eu vi que Rola Pedra é um festival que eu também toquei no Brasil, mas era com Autoramas há muitos anos atrás, por isso que ficava com essa dúvida na cabeça. Mas, enfim, espero que role logo para a gente poder visitar Portugal. Aí é que a gente se conheça, né, André? Então, espero que você vá no show. Hope he can make it to the show.
Yeah. When you come here, I don't mind if I have to work the other day. I will go and I will meet you. Yeah, and we will party. Man.
It's nice to meeting you, André. And, hope we see each other.
Chucky there in the back.
Chucky is the you have the doll of the Chucky.
Yeah, Chucky, and I have Godzilla too. Wait a minute.
Nossa, olha ali, Star Wars tem. Oh my God! É Chuck, olha lá, Lena. Ele tem também, o Star Troopers. O Buzz Lightyear. Ele tem um monte de brinquedo, eu
And Godzilla as well. It's the last Godzilla from...
it's like shiny. No. Try to put a little bit like this. Okay. That's super cool.
It's Godzilla, yeah.
Gente, demais esse.
Alright.
Godzilla é um lagarto grandão do filme.
Yeah.
Mas o Leno é fã do Star Wars, ele acabou de ver o...
I got R2-D2 right here. No, C-3PO.
C-3PO.
R2-D2.
It's a bubble head. And I got the Millennium Falcon. Right here.
É a nave do... é a nave que você está construindo. É do Han Solo.
Yeah. It's the Millennium. Yeah. More. I got Lord Vader. Right here.
Esse aqui é o Leonard.
Yeah. O Creature of Black Lagoon anda há anos para comprar um boneco dele. Há anos. Tenho de comprar. Yeah.
Foi presente de aniversário para o Marcos. Foi dificuldades também achar. Mas porque a gente tem o R2-D2, que é um aspirador de pó para teclado de computador. Aí a gente está tentando encontrar. Aí você bota ele plugado no USB e aí ele vai tirando a poeira. Enfim, a gente aí o Marcos falou que está preso no armário. Mas depois a gente mostra.
Okay.
A gente adora também esses brinquedos. E é engraçado que tem o Leno, ele chama que é brinquedo do papai e o brinquedo do Leno, que tem uns que ele não pode brincar ainda. Ele acabou de ganhar a DeLorean, aquela máquina de Volta ao Futuro.
Eu também tenho.
E a gente tinha muito tempo, mas o Leno não podia brincar, agora ele pode, que ele já conseguiu.
Okay.
Você tem também? Esse é muito legal.
Já, mas espera aí.
Deixa eu ver se é igual. A nossa a gente tirou da caixa.
Can this be lifted? This one with the magnet, it's flying, or this one there?
I'll show you.
Você tirou da caixa também.
Yeah. So, eu mudei-me de... Olha, espera aí. Vamos só dizer tchau e para eu parar de gravar.
A gente está gravando isso,
Tchau.
Thank you so much. Bye bye.
Obrigado. Thank you.